Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MISAD Bulletin. And now we shall start with our headlines. Suicide bombers attack church in Pakistan, killing 8. Theresa May says UK proving doubters wrong on Brexit. And moving on to our details, starting with Islamabad. 2 suicide bombers attacked a church in the Pakistani city of Quetta on Sunday, killing 8 people and wounding 42 others. Senior officials said hundreds of worshippers were attending services at the church ahead of Christmas. They added the attackers clashed with security forces, with one assailant killed at the entrance while the other made it inside. From another perspective, Balochistan police chief praised the response of security forces guarding the church, saying the attacker who made it inside was wounded and unable to reach the main building. Otherwise, the loss of lives could have been much higher. On to the violence in Sana'a. Witnesses and officials say an airstrike by Saudi-led coalition has struck a wedding procession east of Yemen's capital, killing 10 women. They said the Sunday strike targeted the women as they marched to a village in Ma'rib province. They also said the bride was among the women, but it was not clear whether she was wounded. Noteworthy, the US-backed coalition has been at war with Shiite rebels since 2015. On the other side of the world, British Prime Minister Theresa May said on Sunday her government is proving the doubters wrong after European Union leaders agreed that Brexit negotiations can finally move on to their next phase in the new year. Writing in the Sunday Telegraph, May declared that the last 10 days have marked a watershed in our negotiations to leave the European Union. This comes after leaders of the other 27 EU nations gave a boost to May on Friday, when they agreed that the protracted talks over Britain's exit from the bloc can proceed to the issues of transition and future trade relations between the two sides. On another front, Russia's top domestic security agency says 3 suspected militants have been killed in a raid in the country's North Caucasus. The Federal Security Service, or FSB, said its operatives acted on a tip and surrounded a house in the village of Gubden in the province of Dagestan, where the suspects were hiding. They stormed the house early Sunday, killing the suspects who offered resistance. It's worth mentioning that following 2 separatist wars in neighboring Chechnya, an Islamist insurgency spread to Dagestan, where shootouts between the militants and police are common. On to natural crises, firefighters trying to prevent one of the biggest fires in California's history from consuming homes in Santa Barbara and Montecito were hoping less powerful winds would help them after they managed to stop it from burning thousands of residences. After winds roared at around 30 miles per hour, with gusts to about 60 miles per hour on Saturday, they were expected to ease on Sunday with gusts of up to 35 miles per hour. But even the lower intensity winds are still extremely dangerous, according to the fire spokesman. He also said the fire that started 12 days ago has burned at least 700 homes and killed a firefighter. Meanwhile, landslides triggered by tropical storm Coptic have killed 26 people and 23 more are missing in the eastern Philippines. The deaths were reported in the small island province of Biliran a day after the storm pounded the east of the nation. From another perspective, the National Disaster Agency said Coptic tore across the major islands of Samar and Liat on Saturday, toppling power lines in 39 towns or cities and damaging roads and bridges. However, Coptic weakened on Sunday afternoon with gusts of up to 50 miles an hour and was downgraded to a tropical depression, according to what state weather forecasters said. And finally, a capsule carrying 3 astronauts from Russia, Japan and the United States has blasted off for a 2-day trip to the International Space Station. The Soyuz capsule, with Anton Shkaplerov, Norishgy Kenai and Scott Tingle, launched at 1:23 p.m. on Sunday from Russia's main space launch complex in Baikonur, Kazakhstan, and it entered the orbit 9 minutes later. The capsule is to dock on Tuesday with the orbiting space laboratory. The three will join Russia's Alexander Misurkin and Joe Acaba and Mark Vande Hey of NASA, who have been aboard since September. And before ending our news, let's take another look at the most important headlines for today. Suicide bombers attack church in Pakistan, killing 8. Theresa May says UK proving doubters wrong on Brexit. And we reach the end of our MISAD bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow in a new bulletin.